time to time, we're all tempted to spend more money than we should. We may be finding it difficult to make ends meet, or we might have a big expense coming up. Whatever the reason, many of us think about borrowing the money we need. Deirdre Rice of the Money Advice and Budgeting Service says that we should think carefully before borrowing money.
We would say to anybody, don't do anything without doing a budget first. Work out a plan and see what you can afford. When you're doing a budget, the first thing that you have to think of is the roof over your head, which is your rent. And then you work down from your utilities, down to your food, down to the cost of travelling to work, from work. So you have to be very honest with yourself when you're doing a budget. Work out how much you have coming in, how much you need going out. And what's left over is the amount of money that you could use to either save or repay on a loan.
So, you've done your budget and you know you can afford to repay a loan. But which loan option should you go for?
I would suggest that you look at all the different options. There's plenty of them. One of them that's very popular at the moment is credit cards. So if you use your credit card, that's fine if you pay it back within the required time. A lot of people don't, and the interest then can be quite high.
Interest is the extra percentage you have to pay in addition to paying back the money you borrowed.
So if you borrow, you pay interest, and if you save, you receive interest, and it's a certain percentage of the overall amount that you have. People will often say, what's APR? They've heard of it. APR is the annual percentage rate, and that annual percentage rate is the rate of interest and other fees that are included in the loan you've received annually. The lower the rate, usually the better the deal.
Another option is to get a personal loan.
So a personal loan would be you go to your bank or your lending agency and you say, I'd like to have a loan for a holiday. And they will give you the money over a certain length of time and usually at a fixed rate. So you know exactly how much your repayments are going to be. The credit union would be an option whereby you usually have some savings yourself and you borrow against your savings. And also they're very flexible. So if you decide to pay the loan off earlier, there's no penalties or anything like that.
Whoever you borrow from, you usually have to fill in an application form either online or on paper. There are other options, like a top-up mortgage. Is that a good idea?
Top-up mortgages are usually only for big items like home improvements. It really wouldn't be recommended for a holiday or a car because you'd spend, even though it's a lower interest rate, it's usually over a longer period of time.
Another option is an overdraft, when a bank allows you to take more money out of your account than is actually in it. The problem with an overdraft is that the interest rate is often very high. Finally, what does Deirdre have to say about moneylenders?
Moneylenders have very high interest rates. They're usually on short-term loans as well. We would say to people, it's too easy to borrow that way, but yet it's very, very difficult to get away from it. So we would suggest to people that they look at other options and do not consider money lending. My general word of advice would be to everybody, no matter whether you're suffering financial difficulties or not, is sit down today and do a budget plan. It's good for everybody, and to see it written down in black and white is a very, very healthy thing to do.
Is this where I handle my loan application? Thank you very much.
I would suggest that everybody does that before they borrow anything.
That's fine.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.